This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Welcome in. We're broadcasting here live from the Culver studio, and we are absolutely thrilled to have you here with us on this Black Friday edition of The Meltdown. As we are here with you live every weekday, Monday through Friday, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. We appreciate your support with that thumbs up and all of your live comments here throughout the stream. I am Tim Melton. Joining me in studio is a cast of characters that I genuinely missed yesterday. Didn't get a chance to see either of these two, but I'm very thankful for them, including Tyler Lionel Johns. Tyler, how was your Thanksgiving? Was it good?
It was good. It was good. Got to see some family. Had a good old meal. Got to see my cousin's dog, and then after that, I headed back up here to tinker with some settings to try and
Yeah.
get the audio quality better. I was up here for about 2 hours. Didn't work. And then I went to a movie directed by Clint Eastwood, Juror Number Two.
Couple of things. Number one, I told Tyler, please don't spend your Thanksgiving
You
up
did.
here
You did.
tinkering with anything.
Yeah, I hope we make that clear.
And I'm on the ride home from Northwest Alabama, and I get a text saying, up in the studio tinkering. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Tyler, I feel like, if there's any night you need off, it's Thanksgiving. And then he goes and covers a movie.
Mm.
And it is a movie that has been buried by Warner Brothers for some reason.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't get it. I don't get it.
No one gets it because it is potentially Clint Eastwood's last movie that he'll ever direct because he is in his 90s
Right.
and you just never know. And it's, from what I've heard, pretty good.
This was a solid movie. This could have been made 50 years ago.
Yeah.
It could have been made 50 years ago or 50 years from now. That's what I said in my review because it's just the kind of story that is timeless. A juror gets selected for a high-profile murder trial, and he finds out he's got a little bit of a connection to the case, and he goes through a bit of a moral quandary throughout the film.
It
Interesting.
stars Nicholas Hoult. I've seen trailers for this movie, not in the theater, but online, and was like, you know what, that looks like a great adult drama. I'm gonna check that out when I get the opportunity. And I didn't even know it was in the theater because
I
they
didn't either.
Wow.
I had told you guys that, "Oh, I've seen everything. There's just nothing
yeah,
that they're coming out with." And then I checked my app yesterday and they had added some showings of it.
I think they've already announced a streaming date for it on Max, but I don't remember what that is. I want to say it was January, but maybe you can look it up here while I check in with EG because
Yes,
EG, you were back from the wonderful state of Georgia.
I am
A-
back from the
And
farm.
you had a really good Thanksgiving. We're able to reconnect. Do you get the sense that Thanksgiving is just simply sort of a dry run for Christmas?
Honestly, that's an interesting, tidbit there. I don't, but I do feel like some people could think that because my Thanksgiving is very different than Christmas.
Tell me more.
So Thanksgiving is usually extended family heavy. We go down to the farm, Dublin, Georgia. It was incredible. And we kind of see like our 12th cousins. Whereas Christmas, we keep it immediate family and grandma's.
Got it.
Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite.
Okay.
I go really close family for Thanksgiving for the most part, and then I branch out
Mm,
with all the different cousins and
yeah.
aunts and uncles and stuff for Christmas. So
That.
that's interesting.
It was
But
good.
I'm glad you had a fun, safe time, and I'm happy that you're back because perfect time to get back.
Yes.
Saturday, kind of a big game. You'll be covering it there live out of
Yep.
Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, it's the Iron Bowl, and it's crazy because I was driving back this morning and it felt like a Monday because normally when I'm driving back from Atlanta, it's a Monday morning to go to a press conference. And I'm like, wait a second, it's Black Friday. And we have a big game this weekend. So the Iron Bowl is tomorrow. There's a lot of anticipation coming into this game after spending some time in the facility this week in Tuscaloosa, as well as hearing the chatter coming out of Auburn. It's going to be chippy. I'm going to go ahead and say that, I would imagine. And I think it's setting up to be one of those games that I don't know if it's going to be a classic like we saw last year, like one of those type games, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people expect if they haven't been watching Auburn or keeping up with Auburn this season.
It's interesting because last year Alabama was such a heavy favorite in
Mhm.
that game. and it came down to
Fourth and 31.
4th and 31, a event that lost me a lot of moolah, by the way.
What was it? 2 grand?
It was not 2 grand.
Oh,
You lost 2 grand on Taylor
I
Swift
did. That was
tickets.
me. I
Oh
apologize.
yeah, that
That's why you
Yeah.
thought it was 2
Oh,
grand.
good for you.
No, it was $300. I lost.
Oh, okay, but that's still a lot of money.
I mean, on one play where
No,
if that
that's
play doesn't go the way it goes, I
yeah,
don't lose the $300. Yeah, it was kind of like it was a shocking thing.
yeah.
I went face first right into the Christmas tree afterwards. I was
Ah,
like, "Oh my
uh,
gosh." But it was an epic conclusion. You saw it, you witnessed
yes,
that play live.
yes, I was there, and I remember I was on the opposing sideline, and I'm trying to remember why I was down there. I guess because of the now I can't remember. Oh, because I thought if Auburn was gonna get the ball back or was gonna go to overtime. I can't even remember how the game ended after 4th and 31. Did the clock just run out, or was there another
I
opportunity for
I
the
think there was another
Yes,
opportunity,
yes,
yeah.
there was. So I stayed in the Auburn end zone to see if a big play would happen. All that to say, I remember the student section was moving down and moving down and moving down, and I wasn't getting that sense at A&M last week, but at that game, I was like, "Okay, they're about to storm the field." The anticipation was building, and I remember grabbing a photographer's arm next to me, and I think I've shared the story, but he was like, "All right, we're gonna go straight to the center of the field." He was like, "You do not look back. You do not look down. You keep running. Do not fall. Do not you leave everyone behind."
You're making me
I
nervous.
know. Turns out, obviously, we did not have to, fear for our lives in the field storm, but it was a crazy ending. I think the craziest part of that was going into the locker rooms afterwards and, like, hearing from Isaiah Bond, who's out at Texas, and then hearing from the Auburn players, like, such a juxtaposition. And I was worried, last week that was gonna happen again where Auburn is in this scenario where they almost have this incredible win, and yet again, they
Mhm.
lose. So
The fact that this one could go either way in a lot of fans' minds, Alabama fans feel like Auburn can win this game. Auburn fans do feel like Alabama can win this game. I mean, the fact that it is sort of they're both coming in, Auburn having more of the long-term pain of this
for
season,
sure.
Alabama having more of the short-term pain of this season and things fading, chances, opportunities. Is there a legitimate chance for Alabama to playoff? I
S
mean, really?
so, yes, there's a path. Now,
It's narrow.
it's narrow, but it's plausible.
Really?
If South Carolina beats Clemson, that's a big one because Alabama has the head to head against South Carolina, and that would put Clemson potentially out of it or bump them down. But in tandem, if Tech were to beat Georgia, which would be crazy,
Be a big
upset. But again, Bama has the head to head against Georgia. If SMU loses, if there's another, oh, and if Tennessee loses to Vanderbilt, which is at Vandy.
Do you think margin of victory matters in the Iron Bowl for
Yes.
Alabama to
Yes.
have a real shot at making the playoff? I feel like quality of win is important,
It
especially
is.
when you have such poor losses.
Yeah, so each week the college football playoff committee hosts a little teleconference and they actually send out a transcript afterwards, and that was something that was discussed was when the committee is looking at these games, that is taken into account, the margin of victory, and they try not to get into hypotheticals, but
Yep.
at the end of the day, if Alabama squeaks by with a win and it's not a decisive win, I do think that will hurt them, and the committee will look at that and say, "Okay, they barely got a lot out alive in their home stadium against Auburn, whose their record kinda doesn't look great."
Well, the Iron Bowl, regardless of record, you hear this all the time, but it's the truth. Regardless of record, once those two teams hit the field, it's always special.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of energy throughout the state of Alabama that you can feel, whether it's on your couch or whether it's there in person or whether it's on the sideline. This state really does care so deeply about those bragging rights
Yeah.
in the Alabama Auburn rivalry. And you being a Georgia transplant here to Alabama, covering this game, I think you know the magnitude of this for so much of the fan base that cares
Yes.
deeply about trying to dispose of their rival on the field of
Yes.
play. So it is going to be emotional and it is going to be intriguing regardless of what's really at stake here towards the end of the season. Speaking of Auburn,
Let's
an
hear it.
Auburn alum, Tim Cook,
Okay.
the face of Apple.
I didn't realize he was an Auburn alum.
Yeah, Tim
That
Cook.
is interesting. They need to tell people that more.
Oh, I promise you, if you go to the school, they tell you.
Wait,
They they
I'm about
tell you.
to quiz Mikey, like, on air.
I feel like that's I don't wanna say a pretty common knowledge thing in this state, but I agree with you for someone maybe from Georgia
Yeah.
that doesn't know that that tie is there. Yes, Tim Cook got his
Okay,
bachelor's degree from Auburn.
what should I ask Mikey? Trivia question, who is Tim Cook? Or should I say who is the creative director of Apple?
No, what you should do is say, without looking it up, do you know where Tim Cook went to school?
Without looking
I
for
believe he
those.
also went to Duke. I may be wrong about that, but I believe he got his master's degree from Duke.
Auburn only tells us about his time at Auburn.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a big donor.
Hmm.
He is obviously tied into a lot of coverage with the school. Whenever there's a coaching change, it feels like Tim Cook's name gets thrown in there for some reason as like this power broker of like, you know, Auburn has all these great minds working the case like Charles Barkley and Tim Cook, like those two names get thrown together all the time. It's crazy.
Oh, that's
I
funny.
think Feinbaum did like a walk and talk with Tim Cook on campus talking about
Interesting.
his love of the university. Tim Cook loves Auburn. That's what you should know. And I love the latest Apple advertisement that has come out. If you guys have not seen it, you got to watch this thing. Have the box of Kleenex there nearby. But the Apple advertisement, it's about a hearing impaired father watching his daughter unwrap Christmas gifts.
It's incredible.
And I was talking about this in the pre-show, and you would have liked this. E.g., you walk in, you're like, hey, anything I need to study up for the show? I go, hey, make sure you watch this Apple advertisement. And Scott Forster's sitting there. When you leave, Forster is like, well, there's no way this would make me cry. I mean,
Oh.
you're overplaying this probably. I'm like, I don't think I am. While we're having this conversation, Ryan Brown walks in and he's moving some equipment. Forster started to play the advertisement. And Ryan Brown comes over and goes like, okay, this is supposed to make people cry. I don't cry. So, I mean, this is going to be easy for me. So he comes and stands behind Forster. So Forster restarts the advertisement. They start watching it. And then Brown's family comes in.
Oh.
Then Brown's family gets behind the monitor. And once again, I'm not like, hey, everybody's got to come
Yeah.
watch this. They just happen to be piling in. And then they restart it again. So Forster has restarted the first 20 seconds of this over and over and over again. And they all are watching it. And they all were emotionally struck by it. Brown shed some tears.
No, he did not.
Absolutely. I was told you could not get Ryan Brown to show any sort of emotion.
Have you told the commissioner this?
I have not told Ush this, but he brought up Ush's name. Like Ush always says, it's like trying to
Yeah.
get blood from a stone, making me cry.
Uh-huh.
And he was wiping away tears. Forrester was a wreck. I mean, like an emotional wreck. He wasn't just like sobbing uncontrollably, but he was like pretty struck by it to the point where now he's posting on social media going, this is like the most emotional thing. And like,
Oh my gosh.
damn you, Tim, for making me watch this. So, grown men in this office have been crying over this advertisement. You handled it better than anybody, because you were like, "Oh, sweet, how cute,"
Yeah.
and I don't. Once again, I don't know. I think Tyler, you saw it. I mean, it's a very emotional advertisement.
Oh,
Very,
absolutely. This tries to make you cry as hard as
it does.
it nearly got me too.
Tim
Nearly
Cook,
got me.
Tim Cook took to X and said, "quote I'm so proud of the many teams across Apple developing powerful technologies that are improving people's lives. The hearing aid feature on AirPods Pro 2 uses your personalized sound profile so you can hear the moments that matter." Apple celebrated Thanksgiving by unveiling this annual holiday advertisement, saying that it would be called Heartstrings. It's a 2-minute commercial that highlights the AirPods Pro 2's new hearing health features and emphasizes themes of accessibility and hearing loss. The 2-minute commercial is available on the company's YouTube channel, where it's been watched over 1.5 million times, and on X, where it has nearly 20 million views. So it's been really emotionally connective to a lot of people. I think it's worthy of the time. We had a big conversation one day about an Apple advertisement that was released where it was a mechanical press, where it was a hydraulic
Oh, I hated
press,
that one.
and it destroyed all of this like physical media and all of these different things and compressed it into one tablet. And people lost their minds over that. They were very angry because they're like, I love record players and I love
Books.
books and I love art and I love all these things that you're destroying. And this is like not sending the right message. the message was trying to say it's condensing all of that into being more accessible, but instead it looked like it was targeting it,
Mhm.
especially since there was so much of a battle between whether or not artificial intelligence and technology was trying to remove these things that make us human. So for this to come out and it be a absolute grand slam home run, the most human connective piece of material that I've not just seen in advertising. If you take all the movies we've seen this year, Tyler, nothing moved me more emotionally than seeing this Apple advertisement. And I mean that sincerely. It is something that
Sing Sing
absolutely
is still moved me
still
more.
moved you more.
Yeah.
I wasn't as high on Sing Sing, but I am really singing the praises of this advertisement. I think it's fantastic. So if you haven't checked it out, brace yourself, check it out, and I think it is really great. And I think you summed it up pretty well, E.g., when you were like, "Man, it's refreshing to have something that's so connective and really just comes across as feeling like exactly what you want around the holidays, which is a sense of normalcy."
Yeah, just super normal, and it feels like you can know that family.
Yeah,
Very family next door kind of vibe, and I feel like anyone can connect with that ad, whether it's us or the Ryan Browns or Scott Foresters, because you have some sort of connection to that picture.
yeah.
And I think it's a really well done ad in the midst of a lot of things that are just not well done at all.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Did we ever figure out a streaming date on Juror number 2?
Yes, yes. This hits premium video on demand formats December 3rd, starts streaming on Max December 20th, and then
Really?
hits Blu-ray and DVD February 4th. I would recommend going to the theater to see this one because if you are nostalgic for that sort of mid 90s sort of mid-tier budget courtroom drama, this checks those boxes and I think it's fantastic.
It
It's
looks really
very well
good.
done.
I can't believe it didn't get a more sort of sensational release, because it should have, but I'm happy to hear that it's really good. Let's talk about what is also out in the theaters. I don't know if you guys have looked at the ticketing websites, but they are jam-packed here today. They were jam-packed yesterday. People are flocking to the movie theaters right now, which is great for us because you want to keep that ecosystem alive for future releases. But we all know it's going to go back into a desolate wasteland in parts of December and definitely in January, February. It'll be hard to find all these people back there. But I hope the experience is quality enough, Tyler. And I hope that they got the sync fixed
Ooh.
to where people want to go back because this is a real big opportunity for the theater chains to present a fun, festive thing for families to remember for generations to come, and hopefully keep theaters alive.
So last night when I went to see Juror number 2, I had my first just truly awful theater
No
experience.
way.
Just truly awful. The movie was great. The movie was great. I can't stress that enough. But Juror number 2 was packed. Wasn't expecting it to be, but whatever. People are flocking to the theaters because it's the holidays,
And
and Wicked and Moana and Gladiator are just completely sold out.
which is why a movie like Juror number 2 ends up collecting a lot of people who are like, "Well, we're already here, let's see something."
Right, right. So I sit down, and there's a couple next to me, and during the previews, they're talking to each other.
Oh,
One
no.
the girl's scrolling through Instagram or TikTok or whatever with some really long fake nails. Whatever, whatever. They'll put it away before the movie. They did not. They did not. They did not shut up the entire movie, and I had these two guys, a couple seats down from me on the other side, and maybe this is probably an hour in. I have shot them so many dirty looks. Just like EG, you would have been proud. You would have been proud, EG.
Okay.
Hey,
I
that is
love it.
I know that that sounds rude, but it's
No,
actually one of the nicest
it
things
is.
Tyler's ever said.
That's why I'm not offended. That is incredible. I'm proud of you.
Yes. So
I
I
call it EG during Triple Threat Trivia, but you
yes.
continue.
So I'm giving them the worst looks imaginable, and they just do not shut up.
Mm.
And like full on conversations at that. Like I think she was maybe wanting to talk about something serious, but like the movie's going on. So the guy
Um,
next to me ends up just leaning over and shushing them loudly.
no way.
Yes, just insanely loudly. I've never seen it before, and I was just like, oh, thank God, it's not just me. It's not just me. I'm not just like in a bad mood or just irritable for no reason.
Did
Like,
work multiple hours on Thanksgiving, so I'll say that
fair, fair.
yeah.
But that happens, and they give us looks like, oh, like what are you doing? Like, why would you just shush me there? And and then the guy said something to me and the other guy, and stuck his tongue out for some
Oh.
reason.
Wait,
Eh,
the noisy people?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, dude gets shushed, and then his response is to go,
wow.
I'm glad you acted it
I
out.
am
yeah.
too.
Okay.
And so I called them children and
Oh, to their
asked them
face?
and told them that I would be willing to move if the movie was interrupting their conversation.
What?
I
Tyler!
did.
Tyler,
I was so mad.
Lionel!
This is an hour 10 into a
Wait,
2.5 hour movie.
pause. Okay, you totally glossed over the best part of the story. Would you agree?
I didn't e you glossed over this entire story. I had no idea this existed. I would have led with this.
Okay, but let's process. Let's break down. Let's interrogate. So, at what point did you get confrontational? After they stuck their tongue out?
Yeah, after they stuck their tongue out, because I was just thinking, like, what kind of response is that? Like, even if it's an important conversation, like, we might not know that, and you're just being very rude. And then
Okay.
their response was to double down on it and be like, "No, I'm talking right now. You ignore it and just watch the movie."
So tongue sticks out. Then you hit them with you're being a child?
Yeah, I was like, y'all are being children.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, there was another word added in there.
Oh my gosh!
I was
I'm being
fuming,
loud.
fuming.
Okay.
And then his response was to make another face at me. And then that's when I responded with, I'm willing to move if the movie's interrupting y'all's conversation.
I love it. Here's what we need to address. This is the most important thing, okay? Tyler stood his ground, which is great. But this holiday season, you knew was a trap. That it's drawing a lot of people who what was that fell?
ZG's phone.
Here's my phone
Okay.
on cue.
People interrupting conversations. That's exactly what's going on
Man, the
here.
nerve of some
I
people.
know. Uh,
Oops.
I am my favorite thing in the world is to go to the movies. I absolutely love going to the movies.
Me too, Tim.
I love the process. I respect the process.
Always.
I adore going to the movies. I've loved it ever since I was a kid. I've spent entire Saturdays just watching movie after movie. I've done triple features in the cinema all day. I used to
Wow.
print out itineraries for everybody of like what showtime, how we had to be, and where we had to go. And I mean, I love going to the movies. So it's my favorite thing. I have not wanted to go to the movies, and my family's begging to go to the movies. And I'm like, it's not a good idea because of stuff like
It is not
this.
a good idea.
It is being run rampant right now with people who don't understand or respect the process.
Yeah.
People who don't know what the ecosystem currently looks like. They don't understand the ticketing and how you need to buy it probably beforehand, which is why you get upset people in juror number
Number
2 that
mhm.
don't want to be in juror number 2. The concession stand lines, it's like post-apocalyptic. The workers, the poor workers, they're
Oh, I
just
feel so
being
bad for
ripped
them.
apart. It's avoid the theater right now if you can. It is a tough place. And we were looking, my daughter wants to go see Wicked. My wife wanted to take her and my mother to go see Wicked. I said, y'all can go today while I'm here working with EG and Tyler. Well, we get on there to start looking at tickets. There are no screenings of Wicked where you can get a good seat, 3 seats together, especially for Wicked, in any of the local theaters. It's just
Mm.
overrun. EG, you had your hand raised.
I did have my hand raised. Do you guys think that it would be better if some of the technology was cut from the theaters in terms of the concessions, the ordering ahead, the ticketing, and went a little more fundamentally basic?
No.
Okay.
Be-
I can see the argument for getting rid of order ahead. It's never worked when I've used it, but I like the self checkout. Like last night, like you said, the concession stands were packed. I just grabbed my bag of candy, went to the self checkout,
Mhm.
punched in my little AMC account, and then
Called it
Yep.
a day.
scanned my card.
If you don't have that process, you get stuck in a line full of these absolute crazy people.
Yeah.
That's just the way I'll put it. And a lot of families that are trying their hardest to it's almost like the McAllisters and how they handle Home Alone, where it's
Mhm.
like they're all trying to load up and get to the airport and they're trying to get all their kids. That's you get that same sense of anxiety watching these families purchase concessions and little Johnny's running off and he's got a runny nose and runny feet, which is why he's running off. And you just have mothers and fathers in panic and they're yelling at each other about how the process works and how
Yeah.
you pay and the workers they a lot of them want to have a physical worker there with them telling them how to use the self checkout, which defeats the whole self checkout, so you're standing behind. It's like I have patience. I feel like I do have a lot of patience, but I can't see my favorite place run into the ground physically in front of my eyes and feel comfortable. So Tyler made the mistake of seeing that firsthand last night, and I appreciate your commitment to experiencing that. But I recommend for the rest of the weekend you stay away from the movie theater if possible.
Unless they add any more new movies, I'm not going.
We've already seen Moana 2. A lot of people are seeing it. It earned $28 million on Thanksgiving alone.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's a huge record. The previous record holder there was, can you guess, Tyler?
Uh, is it Frozen 2?
That is correct. It grossed $15 million on Thanksgiving. Frozen 2 did.
It's doubled.
28 million for Moana 2. The animated sequel's on track to gross at least 175 million now over the holiday 5-day week, which would be once again a record. Universal's Wicked and Paramount's Gladiator 2 are continuing to draw crowds, earning 16.9 million and 6.7 million on Thanksgiving Day, respectively. By the end of the holiday, Gladiator 2 will have generated 112.2 million domestically. Wicked will have racked up over $250 million just in North America.
Oh my gosh.
Tyler, are you willing to sort of say now that Wicked and Gladiator are performing at an incredible level? Because I know you had some doubts coming in that they would hit the numbers they're hitting.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think as many people would go out to the movies. Wicked has just been an absolute event for people to go to, though. I've seen people go to it multiple times over a weekend because, theater kids love Wicked, and
So
this is their moment.
I'm glad you brought that up because it leads me to my next uncomfortable question. If EG agreed to see Terrifier 3
Hmm.
Would
in
never
its
happen.
re-release in December, would
I didn't
you
even know it was re-releasing.
I think it's re-releasing in December.
Oh,
Smart. I mean, it's a Christmas movie,
that's a good
really.
move.
Okay. If she goes to the re-release in theater, will you go to the Wicked sing-along version in December? Same exact weekend. Would you be willing to do that? Would you be willing to negotiate that deal where you would sit through the Wicked sing-along if she sits through Terrifier 3? Honestly. Honestly. You can say no because that's
I
the
want to see
same
EG's
experience.
reaction to Terrifier.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no. That's not. Oh, you're saying seeing the movie. I
Yeah,
thought you meant you want to hear her answer first. Okay.
yeah,
So you're willing to do this.
yes, yes. If
Okay.
EG goes to see
And
Terrifier first,
looks
I
like
absolutely will.
neither of us are seeing either of those movies.
Correct. Correct. I just wanted to see which one of you would like agree to it first. Because Tyler,
Why would I agree to I wouldn't agree for that for millions of dollars.
it's why I went to Tyler first.
Yeah.
Because I knew you wouldn't be broken, but Tyler was willing to do it for the good of the group. And I just want that on record. Tyler,
I was hoping
5,000
that
points to Tyler.
it
they
was a conversation that
no,
already happened, and y'all were like springing it on me. But no, uh,
No.
I would have gone.
I know.
Would
That's
have.
why 10 with Tim is going to treat you well.
Oh,
Speaking of 10 with Tim, if you have more or less than 10 teeth, we encourage you to reach out to the dental team that we trust most, located on Grants Mill Road. Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, and Dr. Nolan over at Alabama Dental Associates. They provide all sorts of services when it comes to staying on top of your dental health, whether you have that nagging toothache that you noticed during the Thanksgiving turkey, or you need to get on top of those regular cleanings. They're there for you. Maybe you're new in town and you need a dentist that you can trust on standby. Reach out and try Alabama Dental Associates for yourself. They're accepting new patients and can help you feel at ease about all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them 205 956 8977 or visit alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you. Okay, this is the way it works. I've got 10 questions. We've got about
10 minutes.
actually about 12 minutes, EG. I don't know why you're rushing it. And I am looking forward to getting the answers that we so rightfully deserve. Let's go to question number
One.
uno.
Mm.
Okay, here we go. Have you ever, EG, been to the state of Missouri?
No.
Tyler, have you ever been to Missouri?
I have not.
I have not either. Question number two. That's all we got for that. This is SEC country. EG.
Missouri, part of the SEC now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, has been for about 12 years,
Yes.
but yeah. I've got 12 minutes. Here we go. Are oatmeal cream pies more legit or overrated, EG? What did you drop
Did
this
you
time?
drop your phone again?
Oh, my car keys.
This was supposed to be a
Shut up.
non-laughing episode
Right.
of 10
I
with
can't help
Tim.
it.
Black Friday, we have lost our minds. We are, just full disclosure, we're the only ones in the building.
We
I mean,
are.
Yeah,
I'm
we
talking
are.
about the entire building. I'm talking about there's hallways that look like the opening scene of Ghostbusters, where they're in the library and some wacky
Mhm.
things are going to happen. And I'm kind of scared to be up here, to be
Me
honest.
too.
So let's get out of here.
Agreed.
After we answer these questions, are oatmeal cream pies more legit or overrated?
I feel obligated to say legit after Nick Saban's retirement and me filming them flying off the shelves. They're legit.
Okay, so you're pressured by the people. Is that where you're going?
No, I have a new appreciation for them based on my personal experiences, Tim.
All right, sounds like much like oatmeal cream pies, you're also a sellout.
I just want the points, okay?
Tyler, are oatmeal cream pies more legit or overrated?
Legit, I love oatmeal cream pies.
So,
It's one of the few like sort of snack cake, snack cookie sort of items I'll buy. Love them.
Boomer says minus 1,000 points, EG, for dropping the keys. Charles says legit. I didn't like the fact that your answer, you were just trying to be a people pleaser instead of giving your full, because
How do you know that?
I've never seen you eat an oatmeal cream pie, and I eat them all the time here with my lunch, and sometimes they get trapped in my beard, and I just feel like you wouldn't really enjoy an oatmeal cream pie if you were being honest with yourself. I don't
What
feel like
about
you
it?
enjoy oatmeal cream pies.
Maybe I do, maybe I don't.
Minus 2,000 points. Next
Oh my
question.
gosh.
Tyler, name a SNL skit that you found to be humorous.
My favorite one is the Chris Farley motivational speaker.
Matt
Matt
Foley.
Foley, Van Down by the River. That is my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
Um,
You're going to be living in a van down by the river.
living off of sketty and government
Government
cheese.
cheese. Yeah. EG, do you have a favorite SNL skit of all time?
Yes, it's the one that you actually showed me, Tim, about how we forgot who Hillary Clinton's running mate was already.
It was a very funny
It
skit.
was excellent.
It was very recent. It had John Mulaney. He was the host that week. And it was very, very funny. And I mean, I
It's a
do
good
find it.
question. Who was it?
Exactly.
Who was it?
Oh, you don't remember?
No.
That was the point of the game.
It was so good.
very, very funny.
Who was it? For real though.
Tim Kaine was Hillary Clinton's running mate.
Yeah.
Right. But at
Yeah.
one point in
They-
that,
Tim Scott.
they go, "It's Tim Scott, everybody," and the whole audience like, "Oh yeah, Tim Scott." And it's like, he goes, "No, I'm Tim Kaine," and it's like, "Oh, okay." So it was very funny, very well done around election season. Okay, next question here. I don't think, I mean, all timer, EG. I mean, we got to get you some more. We got to show you some more SNL.
Okay.
Minus 1,000 points.
Okay.
Next question. If you were forced, EG, to watch a 90-minute National Geographic special on one area of the world, what region of the world would you choose?
Oh, region? Can I go with the oceans?
You literally take my question and you're just like all oceans on the planet, which the Earth is primarily water.
Yeah.
So 70% of the Earth is what you're choosing?
Yeah.
That's such a cop-out answer.
Okay.
I don't even want to deduct points. I just want everyone to hear your answer, which is you're not even picking a location.
No,
Give me one ocean.
Okay, I would do the Pacific, specifically the Mariana Trench.
So you chose the specific
Good
ocean.
answer.
The Pacific Ocean.
Specific ocean. Okay, tell me why.
Because it is the deepest point in the ocean. It goes miles and miles down. It's very interesting to me, and I would like to see more about the new biomes they're finding in the trench.
You may have saved yourself with this answer. I feel like the ocean is a very scary place,
Mhm.
and we don't really know what's lurking underneath.
No.
And there's been a lot of movies about this sort of thing, and
Yes.
I'm terrified by the ocean. I mean, it's like space on Earth.
Yeah, why do you think we do nuclear testing in the ocean?
The
Blow up whatever's
Bikini
down there.
Atoll.
Okay, I'm very concerned. Tyler,
That's
what
where. That's why SpongeBob's town is called Bikini Bottom.
exactly?
It's under the Bikini Atoll.
Exactly, real science there.
Yeah.
Tyler, tell me what part of the world would you want to watch a documentary on?
Ooh. I like documentaries on the Amazon rainforest because they've been going through with this lidar technology. It's like laser based radar, and they've actually been able to map out entire cities that have been swallowed up by the overgrowth in the
Oh,
Oh
rainforest.
my
that's
gosh.
Like
interesting.
just crazy evidence of old civilizations, and also the soil there is like a weird form of like compost almost. It's
Hmm.
extremely fertile soil, and it doesn't grow anywhere else. Like you can't find they call it like Amazonian black earth.
I'll
You
take
can't.
your word for it. You could be making all this up. I'll take your word for it that you know what you're talking about because whenever I watch things like this, it makes me feel rather insignificant as
I
a
was thinking the
person.
same thing. I
Hey,
almost finished your sentence.
that's so kind. I feel like a speck of dust
Mhm.
on the Earth's palette. And I think we all have to prepare for our own demise, but I feel like those National Geographic 90-minute, hey, here's what's happening in a part of the world that you will never see, makes you feel even less of a human.
Agreed. I do think it's cool that as humans, through technology, we now have the opportunity to see things that we're the only point in creation that's ever been able to. Like, I watched a video on the inside of King Tut's pyramid. Like, that's crazy. I've seen the inside of it.
Mhm.
It is impressive to say that King Tut comes up in this conversation, but does not come up in best SNL skits of all time, which is a very popular Steve
Oh,
Martin routine where he sings about King Tut. I'll have to show it to you
yes, you
sometime,
will.
and then we'll have to perform it
Okay.
because it is a song,
Oh,
King Tut, and it's very entertaining, and you'll enjoy it. I'll
hmm.
show it to you at some point. Okay, Jeff calls me a big piece of dust. He is correct. We move on to this. What is your favorite card, e.g., in a traditional 52 card deck?
Queen,
Of
spades,
Queen of Spades. You do love like pocket queens.
love them.
Those can cost you a lot of money.
They can, but when they don't, they're sweet.
Because guess what? You play them and you're playing aggressive, and the next thing you know, last card comes out and it's a king or an ace, and you're like,
I'm screwed.
I don't know if these queens are good anymore.
Yeah, but they're good until they're not.
That is correct. Queens are not much better than jacks.
No, but they're aesthetically better.
I guess so. Is it because they're females? Is that why you favor them?
Maybe subconsciously.
Maybe subconsciously. I mean, I love the kings, and I assume that that's because
You're a male.
I'm a male. So, Tyler, what's your favorite card in a standard deck of cards?
I'm gonna go with the Ace of Spades because that's the one that Motorhead made a song about.
The Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades. I find myself rocking to that song constantly. I really
It's a
like
good one.
that song. That's a good song. Plus 2,000 points for Tyler. All right, next question here. Who is, e.g., the first Robert that comes to mind?
Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson,
It's a good pick.
plus 2,000 points.
Good pick.
The current Batman.
Yeah, Batman.
Love your hoodie today. Really good.
Oh, yeah, it's a little hot. You'll like the T-shirt I got on even better.
Tyler stripping for points
I
today.
was thinking the same thing.
Tyler layered,
Wow.
and he has decided that he is going to remove clothing.
This is
We
crazy.
went from what's your favorite card in the deck to strip poker all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Tyler has shown us now that he has gone with the Dark Knight bank
Got the
robber
bank robber
masks.
masks.
Oh man. The one that looks the most like from that is the third one
Yeah,
because that's
well,
the
the third
guy.
one is the Joker one, I think.
No, that is not correct.
This one.
Oh, the third one from the opposite side. So the second one,
Yeah,
that's also not. It may be, but
Hmm.
I thought he had more blue on his face for some reason.
he might have.
I thought the Joker one had more blue on his face,
What
I
brand is that?
and he was also slimmer.
It's from the company Kith, as so is the hoodie. They did a big man collection, and I tried to also get a Bat Pod scale replica to put on the shelf here, but They sold out in my cart.
The second one has the same shape of eyes as the Joker one, but it's just different
Yeah, it's
in the
the eyes
makeup.
and the mouth that's making me think it's Joker. I wish they had included that the one robber who has like the ponytail looking dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like the one tuft of hair is the where'd you learn to count?
Right. I think the third guy there is not the one that says, "Where'd you learn to count?" Because he gets up in a second, but it's the guy who comes in off the bus.
Yes,
And
this is the bus guy.
he's the bus guy, and he ends up getting disposed of. We've got to show E.G. The Dark Knight as well at some point. King Tut from
You
Steve
haven't seen The
Martin and
Dark
The Dark
Knight?
Knight.
I've seen it like in the minivan, when it was like when my brothers wanted to watch it and I didn't want to watch it, but it would come down on the screen.
I'm not sure you're ever going to win this game, but we're going to keep trying.
All right,
Who was the first Robert that came to mind, by the way?
Pattinson.
I know, but
Pattinson for her.
I didn't get an answer from Tyler.
Plant,
Robert Plant.
lead singer of Led Zeppelin.
I was going Robert Downey Jr. in my head for some reason. Robert Downey
So that's
Jr.
another good one.
Next, November 24th, Tyler, was Celebrate Your Unique Talent Day. Do you have some unique talent that we're not aware of?
I don't believe I do.
Okay.
Don't.
Think about it. You can't like dislocate your shoulder without it hurting or something?
No, I'm not like double jointed or anything like that. No, none of that.
Random intellectual knowledge, I feel like, is your unique talent. You just throw things out sometimes where people are like, how does he have that Wikipedia file saved in his head?
Agreed.
So like, I watch a lot of documentaries and video essays, and I read a lot. And it's weird, like some of the stuff that sticks and
Mhm.
some of the stuff that just doesn't.
You said it perfectly because there's things that you're aware of that I'm like, how in the world does Tyler have a knowledge of this subject? And then there's other things where we're debating whether or not you went and saw a movie last week in
So
your own
true.
life. And I'm like, how does Tyler do this? It's really sort of a masterful thing.
Yes.
E.g., what is your unique talent? Do you have one? I'm sure you can come up with one.
Well, y'all know about the calligraphy. That was usually my go-to.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
To just use as your like you have really good handwriting.
I do. My one I was gonna go with is I can walk on the very tips of my toes. Mhm.
Well,
I know.
you can't really act
I
this
know.
out, but I don't
I
want you standing in that chair. You may fall over or something by trying to enact this. But
Yeah, I don't know how
how,
to show you guys, but
how did you learn that you could do this really well? Was it like some dance class or something?
I did dance, I did ballet, and I was a little advanced, you could say, in ballet. Did not pursue it. And I also, as a kid, walked on my tippy toes. And so combine those two, and I can walk. My toes are the strongest part of my body. I pick things up with my toes. I know. I open things with my toes.
No, you
I
don't.
do.
What is wrong with
I
you?
know. It's really handy. I don't know if I should be sharing this, but it's a light show today. So
Well, since you're the one bringing it up, can I just say that you are missing probably tens of thousands of dollars in your income right
I
now by
know.
not doing
I
this
know.
online for a living?
And I
That's
won't,
fair.
but I do think I'm missing a supplementary income, passive income too.
Absolutely. Now,
Yeah.
I am not someone who seeks out toe content.
No, nor do I.
I don't. And I didn't know that we were going down this direction, okay?
Man, why'd Jim have to leave?
I
I
know.
know.
I know.
Perfect episode for him.
I don't seek out this sort of content, but I feel like there's such an appetite for it. I keep hearing about all these people that make bank
Yeah.
by performing acts with their feet in just,
Oh.
I don't know. You brought it up.
You just said take pictures of.
I-
Made it sound even worse.
You said you open things. What do you open? Pickle jars?
No, I can like all if my hands are full, I'll open the door with my foot.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've done that before.
okay.
Yeah, like open
That sounds more
things.
lazy than it does talented.
I mean, I think that it's like pretty handy.
Technically, it's not handy at all.
It huh.
Anyway, I thought you were opening up like jars and
I know I'll
stuff. Like,
grab remotes, change channels.
okay, do you think you could open up a pickle jar with your foot somehow?
I'd like to try.
Okay, well,
I kind of feel confident I could, but there will be no film of
I would
this.
say let's film it, but let's
No,
not.
is Boomer still in the chat? There,
Yeah.
past 5 comments, all from Boomer. I'm not even going to read them.
Please don't.
Let's move on to the next one.
Calm down, Boomer.
Boomer. Here we go. By the way, I personally know Boomer's new attorney, and I will reach out to him at some point. Let's go to this.
Thank you. Get ahead of that.
What video game, e.g., did you play most recently? And it can be years ago. I don't,
Um,
but I mean, I know that we've played in the studio outside of the studio.
outside the studio, probably Fortnite.
I remember that was a video game draft pick of mine. I remember you were trying to learn Fortnite to impress a guy,
Yeah.
and you were pretty good at it, you said?
I wasn't bad, no, I made it to the final little bubble, that little storm thing that would chase you.
Right.
That was where the builders took over, then I was like, "Ugh."
I'm not a builder. I really
Not a builder
actually
either.
I hate Fortnite. I really don't like
Me
it.
too.
I don't like it at
I
all.
like colors.
And I sold out and drafted it in our video game draft, and it's haunted me ever since that I did that. Tyler, what is the last video game you played outside of this office?
GTA 5.
Oh,
It's such an easy one to just pick up and just go online for a little bit and maybe do a mission, maybe just check on my thriving nightclub business,
right.
and maybe just drive around town.
I
It's
agree.
it's just a good time killer.
What was the first game, Tyler, that sort of like blew your mind of like, wow, I can't believe the scope of this game? Because for me,
Skyrim.
it was Skyrim for you.
Yeah, probably Skyrim.
I think GTA 3 was the one that like really blew my mind of like, I didn't think this was possible in a video game.
Oh,
And because I actually, as a kid, played GTA 1 and 2 because it had cars on the box art. My mom worked at a video store, and I was like, I like cars. I would ride all the different cars at all the different amusement parks we'd go to. And I don't think anybody knew what Grand Theft Auto really was back then. And it was an overhead view.
it's a felony.
Right. And I played a lot of GTA. So GTA has always been close to my heart. And GTA 3 blew my mind because I sort of expected that same sort of overhead experience. Okay, we go to this. Name a famous battle, real or fictional, that intrigues you, Tyler. Name a famous battle, real or fictional, that intrigues you.
I'm gonna go with the Battle of Thermopylae. It is
This is the unique talent I was talking about.
that is
Oh.
the one that the movie 300 is based off of. The Greeks tricked the Persians into marching down a like a little space in a ravine,
Right, like a
and it
corridor.
yeah, and it funneled them in, and the Spartans could get in their formation and not take nearly as many losses as they would in open battlefield. That one's really cool.
I love it. EG, are you Googling? Was that a Google?
No, no.
You're a
No
horrible
way.
liar.
I feel like kind of I was gonna say Battle of Hogwarts.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Yeah.
so you weren't
Good one.
Googling?
No.
Okay, it's okay. You don't cry.
It's
There's no
okay.
need to cry or anything.
Yeah, I would say Battle of Hogwarts.
Okay.
Gosh.
For those that are uneducated in Harry Potter, why was it such a big battle? Why was it so important?
Well, I always like reading about it. I also like watching the movie, and we talked about it last show actually that the book does it so much better than the movie. And it's just intriguing to me. I
Okay.
used to follow a Twitter account that would like tweet out like on this day in 19 da, 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 the Battle of Hogwarts took place. Raise your wands in honor of the deaths.
I like when they enchant all the different statues to fight with them.
Yeah, I do too.
Movie. That was a good scene.
Okay. I have nothing else to say about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
This last one's always a bonus round. It's always worth so many more points.
10?
This is the 10th one. Yeah.
Well,
Here we go. Final question. E.g., name a TV house or apartment that you wouldn't mind having as your own.
oh, that's a good one. Okay, actually, because I watched The Holiday last night, Cameron Diaz's house.
Minus 50,000 points.
Seriously? You don't like The Holiday? I watched for the first time last night.
Name a TV house or
Oh,
apartment that you wouldn't mind having as your
I got
own.
excited. I thought you said TV or movie. Okay, TV. Then let's go with the Friends apartment.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot of space in New York.
Um,
I just hate this game.
Just you've
I
lost this
enjoy
one.
the game, but the game doesn't enjoy me.
But do you understand why you maybe lost
Yes,
50,000 points
because do you
there?
remember when I did this in trivia about what was it? And I made up what was it? It was one of the first rounds.
No. Can I just tell you, I'm so thankful to have you here, and I really appreciate you being here. Eventually, you're going to probably recuse yourself from even playing 10 with Tim,
Well, until that happens.
but you only have yourself to blame for missing the bonus round. And I feel like that needs to be stated.
I mean, that's fine. I wanna remember what I did when I thought that you said oh! What is the most famous real estate, thing?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I thought you said something else, and turned out it was a Hollywood sign?
Sort of. That's not really how it went, but yes, it's similar.
Yeah, I
Similar.
added a word.
Right. Tyler,
Anyways.
for the win here,
Wait.
name a television, house, or apartment that you wouldn't mind having as your own.
Television.
So when you first asked the question, I also like EG immediately thought of a movie
Oh.
and wanted to say Scarface. Then I was like, wait a minute, that's not a TV show.
That is correct.
Um, so I would accept Jerry Seinfeld's apartment,
Yeah, that's
or
cute.
I would go if I want to live in luxury, Tony Soprano's house.
Okay.
Dude lives like a king in New Jersey.
I have seen renderings, and I need to ask. Just hit yourself in the face with the microphone?
Yeah, I swung.
Okay.
Anyways,
It's all right.
continue.
EG's having an absolute meltdown today on the show. Um, I've seen renderings of how the apartment building at Jerry Seinfeld's apartment in that show would work,
It
Mhm.
doesn't,
and
and
it
that's the answer.
doesn't. And that kind of like makes it a little
Ruins
bit
it.
more charming. It didn't ruin it for me. I think it actually kind of makes it more intriguing. But I've always wanted to ask Ush about that, and I got to get his opinion on that blueprint
I'll be
at
there
some point
tonight. I
very
can
soon.
ask.
Please do. Feel free to send me a text. Let me know.
Will do.
Okay, that's gonna do it for the meltdown
Can we
today.
do a bonus round? Another one? Just a crazy one off the top of your head.
I think that you just need to give up on
No!
today's.
Just one more. Just think of anything crazy.
Okay, e.g., if you could be proficient at one music item, which music item would you choose?
Saxophone. Sets the vibe, really cool, and you can kinda break it out, set the mood.
Love the saxophone, one of my favorite instruments of all time. And if this was 11 with Tim, you would have won.
Wow, we'll take it.
But it's not. It's 10 with Tim, and Tyler's our winner. Tyler, what instrument would you like to be proficient at if you could just immediately be good at it?
Guitar. It was something that like kind of wanted to pick up as a
Yeah.
kid and just never did. I never had the time to get into it.
I have bought a keyboard. It has just been delivered. And why are you laughing?
I'm not.
It's a tiny keyboard, so it's going to make me look even weirder. 7 pounds, and it's bright red. And I plan on getting really good at the keyboard. I'm going to try or give up in 2 weeks. I don't know. It's one of the two.
New Year's resolution, perhaps?
No, it's happening in 2024, so it
Okay.
wouldn't be a 2025 thing. Starting now.
Didn't know if you wanted to wait.
No, terms and conditions says it can't be a New Year's resolution unless you start after the new year. All right, that's going to do it for us here on the Meltdown. Once again, thank you to all of those who have been here with us all week long. We've got a normal slate of shows coming up again next week, Monday through Friday, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. Tyler, appreciate all your efforts. EG, thank you so much for being here. Hope you have a wonderful Iron Bowl Saturday. I know that you'll be very busy
I will.
capturing all the different storylines. For those that want to maybe follow on social media, where should they be glued to this weekend?
At EMMY letter G underscore sports. And then, of course, next round live, we'll have everything.
Absolutely. And we have a website for you if you want to get some action in on that game or any others taking place over the course of the weekend or maybe in the upcoming weeks. MyBookie.ag. There are plenty of opportunities to cash out and win or let it ride at MyBookie. Make sure you use that promo code next round for that big first time deposit bonus. You can bet and play absolutely anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. And don't forget, they also have that casino there for you, that live casino at MyBookie.ag. We appreciate them being our title sponsor here on The Meltdown. We will see you again very soon. You can check out all of our reviews for the latest movies that are out there, including Wicked, Moana 2, or Gladiator, all there for you to consume. We'll also have more content coming out about what you should be watching in December. It's all happening right here on The Meltdown.